Today, we're diving into a little machine that proved size isn't everything. Meet the 1937 Fiat Spartoin 37, an Italian artillery tractor that looked compact enough to park outside your favorite cafe, but could confidently drag military hardware across rough mountain trails. If modern SUVs brag about go-anywhere ability, the TL.37 would quietly smile and ask, "Is that all you've got?" The Fiat Spartoin 37 entered production in 1937, during a period when Europe was preparing for conflicts that everyone hoped would never happen, but many expected anyway. Designed by Società Piemontese Automobili, better known as SPA, and operating under the Fiat umbrella, the little tractor reflected Italian military doctrine of the late 1930s. Engineers understood that northern Italy and much of southern Europe offered steep mountain roads, narrow passes, rocky trails, and terrain where large artillery tractors could easily become oversized decorations. Instead of building something enormous, they focused on agility, compact dimensions, excellent traction, and impressive maneuverability. Its remarkably short 100-inch wheelbase, equivalent to about 8 feet or 254 centimeters, combined with generous ground clearance and four-wheel steering, allowed the TL-37 to negotiate obstacles that challenged much larger military vehicles. This unusual steering system dramatically reduced the turning radius, making the tractor especially valuable when artillery crews had to reposition guns in confined mountain positions or winding roads. Power came from a liquid-cooled 5.7 horsepower engine driving all four wheels through a 5-speed gearbox and a lockable center differential. For the late 1930s, this combination represented surprisingly advanced thinking. Italy expected its forces to operate in difficult environments rather than endless highways, so dependable off-road mobility became the priority instead of outright speed. The TL.37 served primarily as a light artillery tractor, towing small-caliber anti-aircraft and anti-tank guns. Its towing capacity was intentionally limited, but within that role it gained an excellent reputation for reliability and cross-country performance. Engineers also developed cargo and engineering variants, expanding the platform's usefulness across military operations. North African operations inspired another practical improvement. Vehicles deployed in the desert frequently received larger tires, significantly improving flotation over loose sand and enhancing already impressive all-road capability. Timmy once claimed bigger tires automatically added 200 horsepower. After his third drink, he insisted they also improved Wi-Fi reception. Mechanics politely suggested he stick to holding the flashlight. Mechanically, the TL.37 remained fascinating. Independent front suspension with coil springs helped maintain wheel contact over rough terrain, while transverse leaf springs supported the rear axle. Together, they delivered a combination of flexibility and durability well suited to military service. A front-mounted winch rated at 2.5 tons provided valuable recovery capability whenever mud, rocks, or unfortunate driving decisions interrupted progress. Seating accommodated 4 crew members, while dedicated ammunition storage kept equipment organized during transport. Even Bob, my conspiracy-loving neighbor, admitted the 4-wheel steering was impressive, although he remains convinced someone copied it from visiting aliens. The Fiat Spartoin 37 was built around a robust ladder frame chassis designed specifically for artillery towing rather than cargo hauling. Engine type: inline 4-cylinder gasoline engine. Displacement: 4,053 cubic centimeters, or approximately 4,000 liters. Power output: 52 horsepower and 2,000 revolutions per minute. While 52 horsepower may seem modest by modern standards, the engine delivered strong low-speed torque, exactly what artillery units required when pulling guns through mud, sand, and steep terrain. Its body was compact, upright, and purely functional, with space for the crew, ammunition, recovery equipment, and the serious military business of pulling small guns through terrain where ordinary trucks would start writing farewell letters. The high ground clearance gave it confidence over rocks and ruts, while the short 100 inches or 254 centimeters wheelbase made it feel almost nimble for a military tractor. The option of semi-pneumatic or pneumatic tires also showed practical thinking. In Europe, durability mattered. I think that is where this machine becomes charming. It was not powerful in a dramatic movie trailer way, but clever in the practical way that wins arguments with mud. Compared with heavier artillery tractors, the TL.37 was never meant to be a brute. Its light towing capacity restricted it to smaller anti-aircraft and anti-tank guns, but that was also its advantage. It could go where heavier machines struggled. It was a specialist, not a show-off. In collector circles today, that makes it more interesting than flashy, compact, rare, mechanically unusual, and tied to several theaters of World War II. For anyone who loves military vehicles, this is the kind of machine that rewards a closer look, not a quick glance. Before we talk money, let's give this little Italian machine its applause. The Fiat Spa.37 was not glamorous, but it was clever, tough, and purposeful. It had four-wheel drive, four-wheel steering, a 5-speed gearbox, a lockable center differential, independent front suspension, rear transverse leaf springs, and a 2-ton winch. That is a lot of engineering in a vehicle that looks like it should be carrying serious soldiers, spare shells, and one nervous politician pretending he understands logistics. Original wartime pricing, modern equivalent value, highest auction result, and current average auction price are not provided in the source text, so we cannot honestly invent them. And on this channel we prefer facts over fantasy, unless Bob is explaining how satellites are watching his discount soup. What we can say is that surviving TL.37 examples are specialist military collectibles, usually valued for rarity, technical character, and historical role rather than chrome, comfort, or celebrity ownership. So, our advice to viewers is simple. If you ever see a Fiat Spa, respect it. Do not call it cute too loudly. It pulled guns, crossed mountains, survived deserts, and probably has more real adventure in its bolts than Timmy has in all his weekend stories combined.